is devices and desktops. And clearly this is a transformative wave that's happening right now where we're no longer experiencing just using big personal computer screens. We're using a variety of different devices to connect to the internet. In fact, personal computers are actually in the minority now. The number of internet-enabled mobile phones and consumer electronics devices are actually outnumbering personal computers. If you look at even in 2007, the data for deployment of devices connected to the internet, you can see that mobile phones are the majority of devices now connected to the internet. Personal computers are a very small fraction of what people are actually using on the network right now. And this is a dramatic change. We think in emerging markets, we expect 1 billion people to actually access the internet from mobile phones, skipping the PC generation completely. The smartphone category is emerging with computing power comparable to personal computers. So this is a dramatic change, and we're still largely using big screens on PCs, designing content and apps for people we think are using big screens and PCs. But the world is changing, and this is going to be a really dramatic change in how we think about constructing our content and our applications. And I believe we need to start thinking about mobile first. Rather than mobile being an adjunct or a secondary thought after you've created your large screen experience, we need to shift our thinking to actually designing for the multi-screen world and mobile-first design so we can actually make these experiences be available to everyone who's starting to use a variety of these different devices. So we're working hard to bring flash technology, of course, to these devices, and our goal had been to bring 1 billion phones out that were flash-enabled by 2010. And I've got a little progress report on that. We're actually going to get 1 billion flash-enabled phones by 2009, next year. So that's a huge progress with flash and mobile devices. Now this is happening earlier than we thought, and that's great. It's amazing progress, but it's really not sufficient. There are more than 1 billion phones out there, and as we deploy these, versions of flash get embedded on a device, and today you can't really update the software that's on many of these different devices, so it becomes an inconsistent experience for all of you. And so our focus is really enabling a consistent, reliable experience across a variety of different screens, small screens, big screens, mid-sized screens, variety of input methods, and do that in a reliable and consistent way, and focus on being able to actually update that runtime technology dynamically so that as we keep innovating and you guys keep pushing the edges of expression, that we can keep bringing forward the world of these screens with us. So we're doing that not just ourselves, but in conjunction with a number of partners. Because we can't do this alone. So we're working with a variety of partners, mobile phone manufacturers, carriers, processing chip vendors, lots of infrastructure companies to really enable this revolution, the experience across devices in a way that you guys can really access and really get your content to. So I thought I'd take you through a couple of the different areas that we're working on with Open Screen Project. There's 2 problems we're looking to solve. The first problem is web browsing, and this is about the ability to actually browse the web as it is from a variety of screens. Now, Flash, of course, is part of the fabric of the web, and as you start to browse on some of the smartphones that are now supporting pretty good browsing, Flash ought to be there, and our focus is very intently to bring Flash to this broad range of mobile phones. Now, the second area is standalone applications, and this is about installing an application on your phone. And much like we're doing with Air on personal computers, where we believe you should be able to install applications consistently across operating systems, we're going to do that across devices as well. So you can take an Air application and install it on a variety of different screens. So let's talk about each of these. So first is web browsing. So the rate of web browsing is growing significantly on mobile phones. It's really starting on the higher end devices right now. And we're in the midst of engineering Flash Player 10 for smartphones. So our approach now is not to create a smaller version of Flash Player for mobile. We're actually taking the full Flash Player that is on the PC today, and we're making that player run on the higher end of the mobile phone market. So that's a big job. The team's fully focused on it. So I wanted to give you an update. We're not done yet, but I wanted to give you insight into where we are right now. And I'm going to actually bring out a few different devices that are hot from baking in the engineering oven, so you can see where we're at on a variety of different phones.